What is Modi ji is also saying? But Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas is actually what Bhagavana is saying. Sauharda Guna. That is Bhagavan Sauharda Guna. Shankha in one hand to preach, to ensure, to tell everyone what needs to be done. But he also has Chakra and Gada to put people in place with the Gada and then finally replace them with Chakra. Durga Mata that you mentioned, she keeps the books in one hand as well. But she keeps all the other ayudhams in her hands. It is to tell us that that is also necessary. Shanti, what is Shanti?
Peace.
Shantakaram bhujagashayanam padmanabham suresham vishwadharam gagana sadrisham meghavaranam subhangam Lakshmi kantam kamalanayanam yoga hridyanagamyam vande vishnu bhavabhayaharam sarvaloka ekanatham. लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोगिसन्द्रष्टजीवजीवातवे नमः कौडिन्यवं सौरवारिधि पूर्णचन्द्रं श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशपदाम्बुजभृङ्गराजं रङ्गारिदेशिकपदाप्तसुदेशिकत्वं श्रीरामकृष्णगुरुवर्यमहं प्रपद्ये.
यतीन्द्रवर्योगी पदाब्जभृङ्गं शिवानशयनमुनिवर्यदैकपात्रं विज्ञानवेदशिखोद्भव तत्त्वबोध्यं रामानुजं कलिजितमुनिमाश्रयामः श्रीमत्षटार्यत्राजपावलम्बं सौम्योपयन्तु गगनादिमुनीन्द्रभक्तं वेदान्तिकविशदीकरणप्रवीणं रामानुजं यतिवरं गुरुमाश्रयामः.
Smriti Ramanujaya Namaha. So, last session we had discussed the Shad Aishwarya of Bhagavan in some detail, not too detailed. Jnana, Virya, Aishwarya, Teja, Shakti, and Bala. Right? Today I was thinking of going through a total of 25 gunas of Bhagavan. When Bhagavan Valmiki asks Bhagavan Narad, Konasmin Sampratam Loke Gunavan, Kascha Viryavan, Dharmagyascha Kritagyascha, Satyavakyo Dridavratah. Then he goes on to explain all the other gunas, Charitrena Chakoyukta. Gunavan has been used as the first guna, and it basically expresses the magnanimity of Bhagavana, the different qualities of Bhagavana, and what it represents as an individual and as an entity. Because the problem of understanding Bhagavana as an entity becomes esoteric. A few people understand it in great depth and are really able to make any understanding from it. There is not much that one can do if you don't understand the entity. So Bhagavana becomes durlabha. Durlabha means is very difficult to understand. It's very difficult to reach. It's very difficult to make sense of. Who is this entity? What is he trying to do? If something is so difficult to attain, the importance of that entity also perishes. Atyanta durlabham is also not a good quality to have. For example, to take a thermometer down to the core of the earth to check the temperature of the earth. For instance, it is very difficult to attain that feat. It is basically impossible to reach so far down. But nothing has stopped, nobody's life has stopped from just not reaching down to the core of the earth. Or the Kohinoor, the diamond, for instance. None of us have the Kohinoor diamond. Nobody can attain it. And none of our lives have stopped for any better. Atyanta durlabha. And similarly, Atyanta sulabha. If it is so easily available, the value also diminishes again. So I think I had a friend, economics, he was studying the law of diminishing factors, something he called it. I don't remember exactly what it was. But what he was saying is that with increased supply, there'll be even though the demand will remain the same, the value of the product will reduce. And
Law of diminishing returns.
that's what it is. The law of diminishing returns. So I remember the concept. I forgot this phrase, and that's what's happening with the diamond, right? I mean, apparently there is enough diamond for a good amount of diamond, but if you ensure that only a certain number of diamonds or certain carat of diamonds can go into the market every year, then you can control the price because the value will increase because the demand supply is not as much as the demand. Atyanta sulabha, a person who is born into a very rich, wealthy family, may not necessarily have the child may not necessarily understand the value of money. So being atyanta sulabha is also not very good. It reduces the value of that entity. So if Bhagavan becomes atyanta durlabha, like he is in Vaikuntham, he is atyanta durlabha for us. We don't know how to reach there, and it's too far. Physically we can't go there. We don't really understand the concept of this Atman. So it's atyanta durlabha. So if Bhagavan remains in Vaikuntham only, then a Jivatma will understand that it is not attainable anyway, forget him. But then he says, let me be Sulabha. If Bhagavana is always with us, again the story goes like this. When Yashoda Rani, she was having Krishna Lalla in her lap. Krishna, he had already finished drinking milk, but he just wanted to stay there and spend time with Yashoda. Bhagavan has come all the way from Vaikuntham to do Leela here. And but then Yashoda Mata, she says, now I have to go. You are already full. What are you sitting here for? I have to do so many household chores. You get off my lap now. And Bhagavan thinks to himself, I have come from so far to give Anandam to the Vrajavasi. I have become so sulabha, atyanta sulabham I have become, that they don't understand my value. So to remind them of who he is, he opens his mouth, and when he does, the entire Brahmandam, the stars and the constellations and the entire Brahmandam in his mouth. In the stars, the galaxies are in his mouth. In the galaxy, the Sagara Ganga is in his mouth, the Milky Way. In the Milky Way, the Dharti is in his mouth. In the Dharti, the Vraja in his mouth. And then his Yashoda and Mata, he sees another mouth in there. And she gets confused. She's flabbergasted. What is happening? Who is this? And then she closes her eyes. And that time Bhagavan realizes that if she gets scared, then my entire Leela is going to get spoiled. So let me, then he comes out of that Leela, and when she opens, she just tries to explain to herself that maybe I was just dreaming. Maybe I saw something else. So Atyanta Sulabha is also not good. That means Bhagavana will give his presence in doses, just as much as it is necessary. So look at us. We know Bhagavana was there 5,500 odd years ago. He came on this planet, on Bhudevi, and he did Leela for 125 years. We may hope to have been there at the time when Bhagavana was there. But you must understand that it's a Pralaya Kalantaran. So where that means from one yugam to another yugam, Bhagavan is going. And maybe it had its own problems. Maybe we are in a position where we can enjoy the Archa avatar of Bhagavana. But even to become Sulabha, you need to understand the concept of what this entity Bhagavana is. And therefore we are having these discourses of Tattvatrayam. There may be good number of people who understand Bhagavana just through Katha, Kathamritam, Shravana Satra. Bhagavana is there in the Katha itself. When Uddhavji prostrates in front of Bhagavana, says, Bhagavan, please don't go, and if you are leaving, please take me with you. Because what is life without you in this planet? Now the entire Yaduvamsha is also, because of the Brahman Shrapam, they are also getting extinct very soon. And you are also deciding to leave, I can see. So take me along with you. And therefore he takes avatar as Srimad Bhagavatam. And through the Bhagavatamritam, we are able to, the rasa, we can drink the Bhagavata rasa from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Pivata Bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. And so that rasam, we are able to, the nectar of the Vedam, the Veda Jnanam, we are able to take from Bhagavatam. However, there are the Tattva Jnanam, which is exactly what the Bhagavad Katha or the Itihasa or the Purana basically propitiating. The Tattvatrayam. Prapyasya brahmano rupam, praptuscha pratyagatmanah, prapyipayam phalam prapti, tatha prapti virodhicha, vadanti hu sakala vedaha setihasa puranakaha, punayasya mahatmana veda vedanta paraka. Who is Bhagavan? Prapyasa. Who am I trying to achieve? दृश्य कौन है? दृष्टा तो मैं हूं. I am the drashta. I am the seer. I'm trying to see. So who is the drishya? Bhagavan. So prapyasa, who am I trying to attain? Prapyasya brahmano rupam. Praptuscha pratyagatmanah. Now I am this Atma. Who are the other Atma? Who is trying to attain Paramatma? So we need to know Paramatma. We need to know Jivatma. Prap upayam. How do I attain Paramatma? From this Jivatma should attain, there must be an upaya. Sometimes Bhagavana comes as upaya. And then he himself is the upaya. Why? And if he comes as the upaya, does not the importance of the upaya diminish? Does it not? If I'm trying to find sugarcane, and sugarcane is, I need one stick of sugarcane. I'm trying to break some sugarcane stems. I only need one. I already have one. Why should I go for another sugarcane is the question. So if the upaya to get another sugarcane is a sugarcane stick by stem by itself, will it not diminish the fruit? So these questions we can answer. Prap upayam. Upaya kya hai? To attain from Jivatma to attain Paramatma. So then we have different upayas that we have mentioned at different points in time. Karma. Through karma yoga, jnana. Through jnana yoga, bhakti. Through bhakti yoga, prapatti. But even prapatti is maybe durlabh for a lot of people. So, Acharya Bhimana. From Acharya, the association. From association with Acharya only we'll attain. We don't know how to perform Sharanagati. You see, the concept is this. We are saying Sharanagati is the best path. But if we don't know how to perform Sharanagati, what can we do? Tvam eva Sharanam Mama. That is Sharanagati. But how do I know that if I haven't studied Shastram? Or somebody, to study Shastram, I'll have to go to an Acharya and bow in his lotus-like feet, and he will perform Sharanagati. So, Tvam eva Sharanam Mama. Tatha prapti virodhicha. So, to attain this upayam, to attain this Bhagavana, the upaya, what is stopping me? Sometimes the cold stops us. This is also virodhi, you know? Because of our prarabdha only we got this cold.
Yes.
And our prarabdha is what is stopping us. Maya. Mama Maya Duratyaya. Bhagavan is saying it is not my Maya. He said I am the Maya. So to cross this samsara of Maya, sarati gacchati, to keep moving. If you have a still pond, swimming past is very easy. Still, just swim past. If you have a flowing river, sarati gacchati, it is very difficult to cross because you will flow with the current. That's how samsara is. We step into the samsara and we'll flow with the current. So to come out of it is very difficult. Unless you realize that the best way to cross that river, if at all, is through a boat. as something that floats up on the river. But we are not used to traveling on boats. We don't know how to row the boat. So we need a nauka, somebody who is who has been in the boat, the rower, the person, the captain, the kaptan. He's an acharya. And with the association of the acharya, we get the Bhagavad Gyanam, which is the boat. And then we can cross this Sarati Gachati, that which is constantly moving this samsara, to Bhagavat Sharanagati. What is stopping us from this? What is stopping us from reaching this boat? That is the Virodhi. Our acharyas say, the Virodhis we must stay away from. Any entity that is a Virodhi Swarupam, we must stay away from that. Why? It is very simple. If we are trying to attain something, something is stopping us from attaining that which we need to attain, then you might as well stay away from that which is stopping you. And any text in this entire Sanatana Dharma, our Shastra, is telling us these things only. Right? But the Paramartha is what? Is Bhagavana only. The Paramartha is Bhagavana only. To understand that Bhagavana, we understood ourselves, who is understanding it. And then we understood the whole body of what we are and where we are. Therefore, now we can sit down and understand this Bhagavana. And to a level of Tattvam, we are able to grasp who Bhagavana is. Now we must understand the qualities which make this. Just like the qualities of Jivatma. We explain each and every Anu. All of these qualities that we came across. Just like that, we must understand qualities of Bhagavan. And Bhagavan, जैसे धन जिसके पास होता है वो धनवान है, जिसमें भग होते हैं उनको भगवान कहा जाता है. भग इति षड ऐश्वर्य, ज्ञान, बल, ऐश्वर्य, वीर्य, तेज, शक्ति. And we understood this in the last session. Gyan is when we know some things at some point in time. हम जन्म लेते हैं, जन्म लेने के पश्चात ये जो शठ रहता है ये प्रकृति में, because of this shatha we forget all our previous 10 lives apparently. The Bhagavatam says that when we are in the jathara of Janani Jathara, when we are in the womb of our mothers, we remember, we have recollection of the past 10 lives at the least. This is what Bhagavatam says. In the 10 lives, we do have conversations with Bhagavan. And what conversation we have is, because now we remember all the stuff. Imagine, we feel great sorrow because we suffered one day, one moment. There is a moment of suffering, and that suffering causes great deal of distress. This Jivatma in the Jathara is contemplating on the sufferings of his 10 lives. Let's assume that only 10% of his entire life was suffering. Let's assume that 90% was great human being, a great Jivatma. 10% of 10 lives is one full life of suffering.
Yeah.
So he tells Bhagavan, I am only going to devote myself to you, and I want to come out of this samsara. And then Bhagavan says, no. You have been saying this for many, many lives. Once you're born, you'll forget me, and then you don't want to, you will never come to me. I know it. You are lying to me. And then he says, Bhagavan, but what can I do? I try to remember you, but I forget. And once I forget, what can I do? It is your fault. Now you must do something. To which Bhagavan says, okay, I will give you a code. This code you remember when you do your Sandhya Vidhi in the morning. When you are born into this samsara, you remember this code, and you remember that you should come back to me. I'm waiting for you. And what is this code? He says that in the tips of each of our fingers we have the Shankha Chakra. These chakras and Shankhas are here. I only have Shankhas, but some people have some Shankhas and Chakras. The fingerprint basically.
Yes.
Our Shastram say that the fingerprints are either Shankha or Chakra. There are two kinds. When we were young, we used to look at each other's fingertips and say, oh, I have Shankha and Chakra. We didn't understand anything then, not that we understand anything now, but at least it is more clear now because we had this experience when we were younger. Okay, that's what he's saying. And when we wake up in the morning, we look at what? We look at our hand because that's what our Shastra said to do. Kara agre vasade Lakshmi. Lakshmi comes there and says, this is for you. Kara madhye Saraswati. Kara mule sthita.
Govind.
Prabhate kara darshanam. Bhagavana is here. Oh, now I remember. Every morning you recollect. I am here. So when you are born, you realize, I am not mine, I am his. That's why Atmahatya is also a papam. Because it is not my life. As long as it is my life, what I do with it, it's okay. But because we know it is not my life, Atmahatya is a great papam. That's why Naradji also, Bhagavan Narada, in his previous life, in 5 years old, when his mother also passed, and then he realized that he cannot live without Bhagavan Narayan. But then he couldn't leave his body, he couldn't kill himself. But because of the shoka, the body, the Atma just left. Atmahatya is a papam because we don't belong to us. We are not Swatantra, we are Paratantra. The same Paratantratva is expressed in the in the Ramayana, when Sita Mata is again Viyog from Rama. Bhagavan sends her away. And then she is about to jump into the river. Now Bhagavan has also foregone my presence, my existence. What have I to do here? What have I to live for? And then just before she jumps, she again realizes that I am not Swatantra Vastu. I cannot just decide to die. I am Paratantra to Bhagavan. That is one of the reasons Bhagavan, our Acharyas give out of the 4 or 5 reasons as to why Bhagavan sent Sita Mata to the Sri Sita Mata to the forest. These are one of the 5 reasons which are given. The other 4 we'll discuss one day. So because we have this limitation, we know only some things at some point in time. Jnana. Bhagavana knows everything at every point in time. There is nothing that he does not know at every point in time, which happened previously, which is happening right now, and which will happen in the future. How is it possible that what happens in the future he knows? He is the Karta of this Srishti. The perception of time is an outcome of Srishti. And it is the outcome of his Sankalpam that Srishti happens in the first place. Therefore, what happens in the Srishti also he must know. Therefore, he knows everything. And because of that, he knows everything at every point in time. We only know some things at some point. That differentiates Jivatma from Paramatma right now. Because of the mask of Maya. We will also we'll have this Jnanam when Moksha is attained. We become like Bhagavan. Not Bhagavan, but like. That's the difference in the Madhava Sampradaya. Of course, I couldn't find any text which was not in Kannada to read on the Madhava Sampradaya. It was very difficult, I must confess. And because I really wanted to read, because very similar. They are also Vaishnavas. They also were Urdhva Pundra Tilakam. Yes. And essentially they are saying the same thing. The Jiva is separate, the Achitta is separate, and Ishvara is separate. And they can never be the same. Abheda Shruti. There are 5 different Bhedas they are saying. Now with my limited knowledge, I'm just explaining. One of the things the moment I read it, I realized there's something really profound. It came in my mind that in the Madhava Sampradaya, there are Jivatmas that will never attain moksha. For eternity, they will be in Leela Vibhuti only.
Oh.
That's sad.
That concept, right? Yes. They don't understand the concept.
That is the concept. That they will never attain moksha. Now think about it. This is exactly what Ramanuja Swamiji also said. But the argument is just half full, half empty. Now look at it. Bhagavan Ramanujacharya said that all Jivatma at some point will attain moksha. because that is the destiny of Jivatma, to be one with Paramatma. But this existence, Bhagavana, is Nityam or Anityam. Sarva Kala Vartitvam Nityatvam is at all points. And this existence is what? Anantan. This is unending. If this Srishti has no end, that means Leela will be happening without an end. If Leela is happening without an end, there'll have to be some Jivatma to attain moksha. So those Jivatmas would have never attained moksha. And because Jivatma is not born, they are also Nityam. They have always existed. So they are still Jivatmas right now, which will never attain moksha. You see the same thing. There is no difference.
Yeah.
Madhvacharya Swamiji just said it. I think that is the only difference. Because it basically comes to the same. If the moment you say Bhagavana is Anantatvam, there is no end. Unless you say that once all Jivatma come together, again there will be Ajnana, and then again they will have to attain. Now that is not the concept, because we are saying once you attain moksha, it's a one-way door. Right? Therefore, there will always be Jivatma that will never attain moksha. But if you look at it that way, you just have to understand that I don't want to be one of those.
Exactly.
So that is it is not trying to induce fear. A bhayam, that is not the idea. But if the truth is inducing a bhayam, and that bhayam is leading you to Bhagavan, that is not too bad, is it? Because it is the truth. It is not something that is untrue. You are saying Bhagavana is Anantam. All Sampradayas are saying Bhagavana is Anantam. All Sanatana Sampradaya.
Yeah.
So therefore, he's Balashali also. If there is unlimitedness to him, he does not need to, like when I pick up something, I put some effort. Because he does not have a limitation, he will never put any effort. Without effort, he'll do everything. Every action that is performed is without effort. That is Bala. We explained this last session. Then we went into Aishwarya.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically not just the lawmaker, but the law executor also. He executes the laws also. He ensures if the chitta and achitta abide by certain norms. नियमन करते हैं भगवान. संपूर्ण जगत का नियमन करने वाले भगवान, इस गुण को ऐश्वर्य कहा गया है. Now, वीर्य, भगवान टेक्स एवरीबडी, सबको धारण करते हैं और नियंत्रण करते हुए भी he is not affected by the vikaras of this body, because he takes on chitta and achitta, tat srishtva tadevanu pravishat chittam, and the achittam. And however, he is not affected by the vikara of chitta or achitta. There is vikara only in achitta. Chitta, there is no vikara. But because of the association with achitta, the chitta vastu, the jiva, becomes there is vikara within that form. But Bhagavana is not affected by that either, because Jivatma is at least affected by karma. Bhagavana is not. अघटित घटना सामर्थ्य है भगवान में, शक्ति. Because of Ananta Srishti, anything is possible. So that which looks impossible here, that is also possible if Bhagavan wills it. Anything is possible in front of Bhagavan. And Teja, he is able to bring anybody towards him. पराभूत करने में योग्य है भगवान. Now these are the Shad Aishwaryas that we speak and hear of every day. Now let's delve a little deeper into some of the other gunas of Bhagavana that makes him so relatable to Jivatma, to the Bhagavata. He is Saushilya. He is the greatest of the great. There is nothing greater than him. But even though he is the greatest of the great, he has the ability to become the smallest of the small and be with his devotees. और सब मिलकर रहते हैं भगवान. नीच से नीच के संग भी मिलकर ही रहते हैं.
Hmm.
निषाद राज के साथ भी रहे भगवान राम, शबरी के साथ भी रहे, with Shabari also, with the kings, with Vibhishan, with Bali, with Vanar, Samma Bhavana se. He is able to live with anybody. In Krishna Avatar also. Notice the entire Bhagavatam is all about anybody. You see, इतने विशाल होकर, he is so great in his, because he, that which is great is Bhagavan. I keep repeating. It is not that he is great, therefore he is Bhagavan. That entity that is great must be Bhagavan, is how we try and approach this concept. He is so great, yet he comes to such tuchcha jivatmas like us and provides us with the Archa avatar of Shaligrama, of Archa Vigraha, ityadi. That is Saushilyam. And those jivatmas that go to the lotus-like feet of Bhagavan, Bhagavan has such love for them that he doesn't want to stay away from them. He does not think about the doshas that these jivatmas have done. So let's assume that there is this jivatma for the past innumerable lives that jivatma has lived, only performing papam, only papam, and he hates Bhagavan. One day, by mistake, he feeds a Brahman. By mistake, one devotee sitting just feeds. By mistake. Bhagavan will only think of that. He'll remember his devotees all the time. He will not desert anybody who comes to him. Once you come, he will always take care of you. Because Bhagavan says that once someone comes to me, how can I get rid of him? Like Vibhishan. Hanumanji also, when Vibhishan came, even Hanumanji said that, what do you think, Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is Ramaduta. Parantu he said, is it a good idea to accept somebody who is from the other side? He could be a Guptachar. Guptachar is a spy. Yet Bhagavan says, Mitra bhavena sampraptam natyajeyam kathanchana. Anybody who comes with that, mitra here is devotion. Somewhere in that, the bhava is that mitrata is that. That means I want to be yours. Mitra is what?
Friend.
Yeah. No, that is a friend. But what is a friend? A bandhu. Bandhu is what? जो बंधन से मुक्त करता है उसको बंधु कहते हैं. और जो बंधन से मुक्त हो उनको भी बंधु कहा गया. वो है सत्य बंधु. That is a true friend who enables you to attain moksha. Mitra bhavena sampraptam natyajeyam kathanchana dosho yadi. Even though there may be thousands of misdeeds that gentleman may have done, that lady may have done, I will not look at that. There is a beautiful story. Now, I don't know where the story is. I only read it. It didn't tell the source of the story, but it makes sense nevertheless. So there was this lion in a forest and found a hunter. Chased the hunter like crazy, and the hunter somehow managed to escape and just climb a tree. And because I climbed a tree, the lion couldn't climb that tree. Because the tree was such a kind of tree where that lion couldn't climb. Atop the tree was a bear, a bhalu. And now what the tiger said to the bhalu is, see, both of us are in this forest. We are citizens of this entity. This fellow is both our Shatru.
Yeah.
So push him down. But the bhalu says, he has come to my abode. This tree is my home. He has come to my abode. It is my responsibility to protect him. So he does not push them down. Now, the bear starts sleeping in a bit. He falls asleep. The tiger tells the hunter, now see, if you push him down, then I'll spare you. If you push him down, I'll spare you. And the hunter somehow pushes him down. Luckily for the bear, just before he's falling, he wakes up and holds onto the branch and then stays up. Now the tiger says, look, this fellow tried to push you down. Now push him down at least. Then the bear says, no, it is still my dharma to protect him because he is in my alaya, he is in my abode. That is dharma. So even though his misdeeds were there, the bear did not forego that person who has come to his sharan. Come to his abode. Bhagavana is like that bear. Now we cannot do that because Bhagavana is Sarva Sampanna. He can protect everything and himself in spite of anything. We don't have that capacity. So if there is a bear, that hunter-like entity in our home or in our area, it becomes our responsibility to remove that entity. It is not so with Bhagavan. We will do so for our protection of the self, for protection of society. Bhagavan will not. किसी को त्यागते नहीं है भगवान वैसे. Therefore he says, विभीषण में दोष हो तो भी संतों के लिए हम इनको स्वीकार ही करेंगे कि संत भी वैसे ही आते हैं, उनका भी तो दोष है. उनका पहले दोष था, इनका अभी दोष है. दोष तो सबका है ना. कौन से जीवात्मा में दोष नहीं है? And Bhagavana, the same kind of quality is there in Sri Lakshmi also, Sita Mata. That's why they are not different from one another. They are one and the same entity, is how we understand. So when Sita ji, Mataji, she says, Hanumanji, you leave these Rakshasis. That time she says, Na parha papa ma datte paresham papa karmanam samayo rakshitavyastu santascha ritra bhushanah. So it is a good quality to be able to forgive and forgo these people, even though they have committed papam. Okay. There is no jiva that is niraparadha in this world. That is what she said. जगत में निरापराध जीव कोई नहीं है. आप जो अपराध करते हैं जीव को, उनको भी अपनाना, वह भी धर्म है. So that's what Mataji says. It's a longer prasanga. Not.
Yeah.
So because भगवान में वात्सल्य गुण है, उनमें क्षमा का भी गुण आता है. Kshama, because of this vatsalyam, the forgiveness. There are panthas in this world today. They're always about forgiveness. Bhagavan's vatsalya guna, and outcome of that is forgiveness. Bhagavana will accept anybody. It does not necessarily mean he'll forgive everyone. But once somebody has come to his sharanam, he does not see difference between anyone. He sees all Jivatma as equally. He sees you just like he saw Prahlad Maharaj. And just like he saw Hiranyakashipu. Now we are much worse than Hiranyakashipu. That is a known fact. I am. Sorry, I keep forgetting. You see.
They will have to realize it, right? Because at least for them he came. He gave us darshan in person. Right?
He what you call a Brahma Rakshasa. So the only thing he actually had a problem with is Sura. That's why he was an Asura.
Right.
It is said that in Hiranyakaship's Rajyam, everybody has Satya Kama, Satya Sankalpa, Satya Sankalpa. Whatever they wanted, they just have to think it will come. He just, because of there was some reason in the past he had to come in the way he did. And he did not like suras, which he did not devata. And that is the nature, that is the dharma of asura. That's why Ravana was also called Dharma Vigraha by Bhagavan Valmiki. In Ramayanam, the Vibhishan calls Ravana also, when Ravan dies, he says, one Dharma Vigraha has gone from this world. There is a shlokam, I don't remember. Because he performed his Rakshas Dharma to the point. But Rakshas Dharma for Manushya is Adharma. That's the only difference. But performing one's own Dharma is Dharma. So therefore, because Bhagavan cannot live without his devotees, it is basically understood that without effort, Bhagavana will be with the devotees all the time. That guna is called Mardava. To be with devotees all the time, be with bhaktas, to be with those who come to his ashraya. And he always reminiscing about his devotees. So, Bhagavan, there is a when it is said that in the cold waters, when Bhagavana was doing Sandhya Vidhi in the morning, he tells Lakshmana and Vibhishan at that time, when he took a bath, here it is so cold, so south down, it must be so cold back in Ayodhya. Imagine how Bharata is bathing so early in the morning, because Bharata, he used to wake up earliest in the morning because he thought because of him only Bhagavan Ram has gone to the forest. He didn't want to show his face to anyone. He's like, if somebody sees my face first thing in the morning, their whole day will be spoiled. So he would go early in the morning, in the darkness of the night when nobody was there, and would bathe in the Sarayu. In that cold, how is my Bharata bathing? How is he? He would think. So Bhagavan says, Tam vina kaikayi putram bharatam dharmacharinam name snanam bahumatam vastranya bharananicha. These jewels, these clothes, this bath, this karma kanda, nothing excites me anymore, O Bharata. Without you, nothing excites me. That is the devotion of Bhagavan has towards his devotees. Whatever you do, Bhagavana will reciprocate exactly like that. That is the great quality of Bhagavan. Now, sometimes you may ask, see, Bhagavan has said this in the Bhagavad Gita. And then Bhagavan says this here in Mahabharata. Bhagavan says this here in Ramayana. But how do you know what he says is true or not? मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा. Bhagavana has this guna that whatever he feels, whatever he thinks, that is only that he'll speak. Whatever he speaks, whatever is inside is outside. He does not have something inside and something else outside. So whatever he says must be true. वह जैसे सोचते हैं वैसे ही बोलते हैं. आर्जव गुण कहा जाता है इसको. Whatever he thinks, he speaks. Whatever he speaks is what he must have thought. Therefore, भगवान के जी जो ये उक्ति होते हैं, these things that you hear about भगवान, भगवान की उक्ति को सुनकर मन में शंका उत्पन्न नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि जो भगवान कहते हैं वो वही सोचते हैं. उसमें भिन्नता नहीं है, भेद नहीं है. जैसे हम कुछ सोचते हैं, कुछ और कह सकते हैं, परंतु भगवान वैसे नहीं है. इसलिए भगवान है. वो नहीं सोचते वह सत्य नहीं, जो नहीं सोचते वह भगवान है, वही सत्य है. इसलिए उनको भगवान की पद्धति दी गई है. पद्धति तो उनका ही है और हमारा तो नहीं है. The moment we say Bhagavana is like this, then the question arises, how do you know? But the moment we say that which this quality must be Bhagavan, a person with this quality must be Bhagavana, there is no sandeha anymore. See, that one must be able to always grasp. Now, कुछ भक्त हैं जो मेरी तरह हैं, दास की तरह, मूर्ख, ज्ञान अभाव से युक्त, परंतु ऐसे भी भक्त हैं जैसे प्रहलाद, जैसे ध्रुव महाराज. There are what you may call a complete contrast of quality. Yet Bhagavana does not see, he sees bhala, he wants bhala for everyone, he wants goodness for everyone, me as well as him, and all of us. सबका भला ही चाहते हैं भगवान, सुहृदय, हृदय से सबका भला चाहते हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि बाहर से हम दिखाते हैं कि हम तो सबका भला चाहते हैं, परंतु हम वोट इनको ही, हम तो सबका विकास करेंगे, परंतु इसी को नहीं होगा ना. वैसा भगवान कहते हैं हम सबका विश्वास भी चाहते हैं, सबका विकास भी करेंगे और सबका साथ भी देंगे. एक्चुअली दैट इज भगवान नारा. Nowadays Modi ji is also saying, but सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास is actually what Bhagavana is saying. Sauharda guna. That is Bhagavan Sauharda guna. Yeah. So it's very intelligently put in disguise. Sauharda guna. भगवान सबका भला ही चाहते हैं. भोक्तारम यज्ञ तपसा सर्वलोका महेश्वरम सुहृदम सर्वभूतानाम ज्ञात्वा माम शक्ति मृच्छति. भगवद गीता का ही है. So if you, what Bhagavana is saying in this shloka, bhoktaram yajna tapasa. So if you have somebody who is doing thousands of yajnas, उनका भी भगवान भला ही चाहते हैं. Somebody who is doing this one यज्ञ, उनका भी भला ही चाहते हैं भगवान. संपूर्ण लोकों के जो ईश्वर हैं वो तो भगवान ही है, और जो भगवान पर शरण में आते हैं वो शांति को प्राप्त होते हैं. यज्ञात्वाम शांति मृच्छति. शांति, व्हाट इज शांति? शांताकारम भुजगशयनम पद्मनाभम सुरेशम विश्वाधारम गगन सदृशम मेघवर्णन शुभांगम लक्ष्मीकांतम कमल नयनम योग हृदयानगम्यम वंदे विष्णु भवभयहरम सर्वलोक एकनाथम. हु इज दैट? भगवान ओनली. शांत आकार के हैं. शांताकारम इज भगवान. भुजग शयनम पद्मनाभम सुरेशम. सुरेश क्या? सूर्य के ईश्वर हैं, सूर्य क्या देवता. सुरेशम विश्वाधार, विश्व के आधार. गगन सदृशम मेघवर्ण शुभांगम. ये सब शांत आकार भगवान ही हैं, और सब भगवान को ही, शांत को प्राप्त होने का तात्पर्य है भगवान को ही प्राप्त होते हैं. भगवान सर्व प्राणियों के परम हितैषी हैं. सुहृदम सर्वभूतानाम. Not just human being. Bhagavan didn't make the animals so you chop them and eat them. He didn't make the plants so you pollute the world so that they can filter it. सबके हितैषी हैं. मनुष्य के भी, उनसे परे कोई जीवात्मा है, उनके भी हितैषी भगवान ही है. जो आश्रय लेने शरण में आते हैं भगवान के, उनको आश्रय भी समान रूप से देते हैं. If I go and perform Sharanagati, Gajendra also performs Sharanagati. And in the future, somebody who is great Bhagavata performs Sharanagati. Bhagavan gives ashraya to all of them equally. There is no he doesn't say गजेंद्र तो मजे आए थे, वो इतना अच्छा भक्त है, देवनारायण क्या है भाई. That kind of thought he does not have, because the moment you have that kind of thought, then he is not he will not be an entity who is worth sharanagati.
Yeah.
The only way you realize that entity which you can perform sharanagati must see everything equally.
Mhm.
समोहम सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योस्ति न प्रियः. न हम किसी से द्वेष करते हैं, न हम किसी को प्रीत करते हैं. हम सबको समभाव सम दृष्टि से देखते हैं. वैसे हैं हम. भगवान अब स्वयं कहते हैं श्रीमद् भगवत गीता में, साम्य गुण. दिस गुण इज कॉल्ड साम्य गुण. There are so many papas of each जीवात्मा, and भगवान निस्वार्थ होकर सब पाप को हटाते हैं, और he is not affected by that also. So that shows भगवान कितने दयालु हैं कि सबका पाप भी हर लेते हैं. हरि हरति पापाना, इसलिए उनका नाम हरि. हरिद्रा वर्ण के पाप को हरते हैं, और उसको करुणा कहा गया, कारुण्य. And these are these beautiful gunas of Bhagavan. And then you have Madhurya, and these we will go to in the next session, because my time I'm looking. And with that we conclude. If there are any questions or anything, let's go ahead with that. Then we will.
Since we are short on time, just quickly, I mean, everything is Bhagavan, and I think it's just our awareness or our outlook of it, right? On how we connect with Him and how we are constantly aware of His presence, right? Because He's everywhere, He's within us, He's around us. And anything we name, anything we call is Bhagavan, right? So we can't say that name is not of Bhagavan or this name is not of Bhagavan. So I think that I'm getting a little clarification. And again, this is just from a perspective of how we explain Bhagavan to anyone, right? How to spread the awareness that we are of Him and we have to go towards Him.
It's very simple. Oh, sorry. Did you finish? Oh.
Yeah, and that brought me to the question of why do Bhagavan or anyone like Lakshmi, Durga Mata, all of them, why should they have weapons?
No.
So that is another, like why Shankam and why Chakram? Why should there be a Chakram when he's that powerful? And it's Sankalpa Shakti that can make anything happen or not happen. So that was my second part of the question. Like, why do we have to think of them or depict them with, with weapons? So, two things.
This is it's a very good question. And even in today's scenario of the kind of world we live in,
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, one must be able to distinguish that the same weapon that can be used for violence is the same weapon which is a personification of peace.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there is, if you notice an old woman, very old, and she doesn't have any teeth, she's barely able to speak, and whatever she says is not heard well. You see.
Yeah.
But when she did have teeth, she had such beautiful things to say and everybody understood.
Mm-hmm.
But if at all something attacked her, she would defend herself by biting. The same set of teeth that were used to shower wisdom on people were used to protect her dignity. You see.
Mm.
Does Bhagavana require a Sudarshan Chakra as a weapon when he is a Satya Sankalpa?
Mhm.
But Sudarshan Chakra is his Satya Sankalpa. The sharpness of his intellect, the sharpness of his mind, the sharpness of his higher intelligence that we can seldom comprehend. We cannot fathom the extent of his sharpness. That is personified as the chakra. And Sudarshana Bhagavana is not different from Bhagavan. Pratibhata Shreni Bhishana Varaguna Stoma Bhushana Jani Bhayastana Tarana Jagadavasthana Karana Nikhila Nishkarma Karshana Nigama Sad Dharma Darshana Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana Jaya Jaya Shri Sudarshana. It's not different from Bhagavan. It's not different from Shri. But what in every aspect of the formations of what we refer and understand as Bhagavana is to bring us to a consensus, to an understanding that even though the ultimate point of attainment is Shanti or peace, it is not always possible only through the concept of peace that we know. And we must protect ourselves under any circumstance. So we fight for peace. Therefore, there is Shankam. It is said that the sound of the Shankha is enough to scare away anybody. Bhagavan need not fight. Panchajanya is enough. Once he blows, that's enough. And therefore, he didn't fight also. Bhagavan, Chaturbhuja, in the entire Mahabharata, but he himself didn't perform anything on the battlefield except for Bhishma to keep Bhishma's pratigya Bhagavana kept. That's it. So he will give away his own pratigya to ensure his devotees' pratigya is kept. So if Bhagavana is Satya Sankalpa and yet he keeps Shankha Chakra Gada Padma and the indefinite Ayudham that he has, it is for us to understand not why he should keep it, but why he keeps it. See, why he should keep it is a question for you to ask when you reach there. Why he is keeping it to show us is the question that you must ask now. हमारे संपूर्ण देवतागण एक हाथ में पुस्तक लेते हैं, गणेश जी, एक हाथ में क्या होता है? कुलाड़ी, है कि नहीं? Durga Mata that you mentioned, she keeps the books in one hand as well, but she keeps all the other ayudhams in her hands. It is to tell us that is also necessary. Because as much as it is important for Atma Kalyanam, what is the most important thing for Atma Kalyanam? Bhagavana. But after that, what is more important? What is the most important? Shariram. As long as you have Shariram only, you can perform any karma for Atma Kalyanam. Because you have a Shariram, you can perform karma, Nishkama karma, for Atma Kalyanam. So, the most important thing for you to do to protect this Atma from attaining and to attain moksha is to protect the body. That is what Bhagavan is showing through Chakram. That you must also protect this physical body. If this body constantly dies, then you have to go through that all over again. So protect this body and do what is needed as long as you are alive and finish it off and don't come back. So protection of this body is also very important. That's why we do yoga. To protect from the ailments within. And we have the Shankha, Chakra, Gada to protect ourselves from the ailments without. Ailments around us. That is what Dasa thinks about the importance of the Chakra and Gada. it is very important for us to understand that chakra is as important, if not more, in today's day and age than any other ayudham. And if Bhagavan keeps it, Bhagavan holds it, and in his Chaturbhuja, he has a Padma in one hand, which Gajendra must have given him, and Shankha in one hand, to preach, to ensure, to tell everyone what needs to be done. But he also has Chakra and Gada to put people in place with the Gada and then finally replace them with Chakra. I hope that is
Nicely.
I hope that answers at least a fraction of your question.
Yes,
And
it does.
यह सब चिंतन करने का विषय है.
Yes.
आत्मचिंतन, उसी को कहते हैं आत्मचिंतन. भगवान विष्णु के चक्र का, सुदर्शन चक्र का महत्व क्या है? सुदर्शन शतकम पढ़िए, उसी में भगवान सुदर्शन का महत्व को उजागृत किया गया है. वेदांत देशिक स्वामी जी उन्होंने किया है. He has done it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can understand why should he wear पादुका. जो संपूर्ण ब्रह्मांड को धारण करते हैं उनको पादुका धारण करते हैं. वेदांत देशिक स्वामी says in Paduka Sahasram. So the importance of paduka. He doesn't need to wear paduka, but he does. Some samskara he must be giving, and to understand these require chintan also. And as you asked, I can try and invoke some level of inquisitiveness. But as long as the Atma Chintan does not happen, you actually sit down and think, क्या हो सकता है? तब ही उत्तर आते जाएंगे. I think in Sanatana Dharma, we have always been told, even Acharya, after you learn, Atma Chintan करो. भागवत सुनते हैं, भागवत सुनने के पश्चात आप गोभी मंचूरियन खाने मत जाना. जो सुना है, चिंतन कीजिए आप, है ना? तो चिंतन, when that chintan happens, that chitta shuddha will happen. जैसे भागवत आचार्यगण जब कहते हैं तो वाक शुद्धि होता है, और हम जब सुनते हैं कर्ण शुद्धि भी होती है. जब मनस को शुद्ध करने के लिए मनस चिंतन, आत्मचिंतन करने की आवश्यकता है आज के समय में. तो चक्र का प्रतीक वही है कि it keeps all ayudhams away. If you do shatakam, is to keep everything away from you. Anything that will harm this physical body will be kept away from you through Sudarshana Shataka part. You can't do it for yourself, somebody else has to do it for you. Very dangerous and difficult. It has to be done correctly also. By acharyas or somebody who knows what he is doing. And it is said to keep diseases away. It is said to keep dushman, what do you call it? Virodhi Swarupa away. Virodhi Swarupa ko to we have to deal with them somehow. Now we are saying upaya phala prapti tatha prapti virodhi cha. विरोधी स्वरूप को हटाना भी भगवान, उसका भी कर्ता भगवान ही है. तो कर्ता का स्वरूप का प्रतीक है जो सुदर्शन चक्र है हमारे भगवान. उनके नाम से हमारा भी नाम लगा गया था. My father, I like the name Sudarshan. Therefore he kept my name as Devadarshan. Before my Acharya gave me Dev Narayan, Das was known as Devdarshan.
Nice. Yeah.
Any other questions?
We are good for today.
Yeah, I'll let you know about Thursday. So.
Okay. लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसार भोग संद्रष्ट जीव जीवातवे नमः. श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः.